from that, after doing Good Kid, we did YG's My Crazy Life, which was another hit. After that, we did Schoolboy Q's album, and then from Schoolboy Q, I think I did another YG album after that, and then Mac Miller's Divine Feminine. I did Nipsey Hussle's, Victor Live. I did Roddy Ricch.
Slow down, dog. Slow down.
It's raining classics. It's like raining classics.
The third verse.
Word up, third verse, back with another episode. I'm Justin Hunt.
I'm DJ Mormile.
I'm Stat Quo.
And special guest of the day, a Los Angeles bred 35-year-old, 4-time Grammy Award-winning recording and mixing engineer turned music technology startup founder. Forbes 30 Under 30 recipient, the one and only legendary Derek MixedbyAli.
Hey,
thank you for joining us. Word up.
I'm 36 now. I just turned 36 though. Yeah.
Word up. There we go. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Nice.
I never knew your name was Derek.
First name. I play football, so the coaches always called you by your last name, so it just stuck with me. And it was easier to say, my name's Ali rather than Derek. Gary, Jerry, nah, just call me Ali.
Dog, how did we meet?
Okay.
When the first time I met you?
Shit, man. Probably me just running through Interscope. Looking for CDs and mouse pads to steal.
Probably in my office, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
That's where you always were.
Right.
I'm trying to remember, man. I just remember.
It might have been at Top's house though, in the studio in the back.
Oh, the old house.
Carson, yeah.
Well, I came over.
That's where we met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what it was? That's when we met. Kendrick played me the album, and I came over to the studio. You were there.
Which one? Good Kid?
Good Kid, M.A.A.d City.
Yeah.
And you loaded it up. That's where because he played me the joint. Or did you go to Vegas with us? Did you go to Vegas with me, Manny?
Yep.
You went?
We were at Dre's. I was DJing. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So that's where we also got cool because Schoolboy Q went there. He was at the Tropicana. We went. That's where he did All My Life, Money and Power. He did that song there.
Yep.
I think Hit Boy came out too.
I remember that trip. That's when everyone came out. It was really just the whole floor of the hotel was just all the homies. It was Manny was in it. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time, dog.
So how'd you get started engineering, working in music? What's your origin story for people who might not be aware?
The origin story is just hustle. I grew born and raised in Gardena, California. Always been computer savvy, right? Always trying to find, I had the cliche, lawn, curing companies to cut the grass, paper routes. But when I figured out, how to put ringtones on phones before you can really buy ringtones, remember the Nextel, the Boost Mobile chirp phones? I found software on LimeWire that, would enable me to put real songs on there, to replace the beeping ringtones. Wow. And I would charge homies after football practice to come over and record these 30-second parody ringtones. Don't mom's calling, pick up, but don't answer this girl's phone. Whatever the case was, and it kind of was just it was like the spark of this is tight. This is cool. I'm just taking something that was never there, recording it, and now this thing is living forever. I think I caught the bug at that point.
Yeah.
So from there just continue to learn, other software I can use, other ways that I can, get better. Heavy on the blogs. I couldn't afford the music schools. Cliche story, kid from the hood, didn't have shit. But yeah, that was like the origin.
That is like a forgotten history of music internet. You know what I mean? Like the programs that would take your ringtone and turn it into a song. That was like a 3-year window.
It was just a moment. It was everything.
It was everything.
It was it was everything. Kids talk about school, everything, and then it was just over.
So how did you meet? How'd you get down with TDE and Kendrick and all that?
What was the first break-in?
So it started because me and Tyga grew up together.
Right.
Tyga's mom, rest in peace, Passionate. Tyga's mom was Monty's they were best friends in high school and college or whatnot. And Tyga always come over to my grandma's house, or whatever. And when he started doing music. He was going to Gardena High School at the time, and this was perfect, just this cross, of me doing the ringtones. I'm like, yo, I could record 30-second ringtones. I'm sure I could record a 2-minute song. Let me see what I could do. And that resulted in creating his first mixtape, Young on Probation, with DJ Rush and DJ Ski.
That's crazy.
And then, he got connected with, Decayans and Gym Class Heroes through that route. And, that kind of, I'm like, yo, this is, like I was a part of something that, got established and became, and I was like, how can I continue? Like I'm loving this, at that time, I just got hurt playing football. My whole thing was, I'm a big guy, right? I was, running a 40 in, 3 seconds, 4.9. I mean, I say 3 seconds.
I was like 3 seconds. It sounds crazy.
It was a 4.9. I run a 4.9.
I was like, you lying like
I was
like,
okay, well, that's what we doing? All
I'm
right.
talking too fast. Nah, 3 seconds is insane. Let me track that
Nobody's doing that.
quickly. Nah, I ran a 4.9. I was, way more in shape, squatting 6. But I ended up getting hurt, lower disc issues. And, I just, from that, I kind of focused on the passion, which was the music. But at this time, I was recording Schoolboy, because Schoolboy and Tyga also, used to do music together, right? We all had GED, getting every dollar was like kind of the thing back in that day. And I met Q through Tyga.
wow.
And, when Q ended up going on a tour with Gym Class with the Canes and the Gym Class Heroes and all them, I started recording Q in Inglewood. Like Q was, getting money, how he was getting money, and, he would book studio time and he'd come pick me up from my grandma's house. And we would record all day, all night,
Okay.
That's when he was Q Mizzle.
Wow.
Q
I'm
Mizzle.
glad he changed that.
Yeah, me too.
Are we all, right?
Q Mizzle is crazy.
So yeah, from that, obviously Dave went to the same high school as me, Gardena. He was a few years older, and he was like the computer guy at the school, right? He was the one the teachers called to come fix the computers and to download the updates or whatnot. And, Dave was DJing throughout the city. Everyone, back then the warehouse parties and the house parties were the thing that we were all into, and Dave was the DJ guy, right? And so I was, now had a little bit experience working with Tyga. This is all still in like 11th grade. Like I'm like 11th, 12th grade. I got some experience, working with Tyga, seeing him doing his thing, and I just reached out to Dave and Punch. I'm like, yo, like how can I help? How can I be of value? I want to do music, I want to be an engineer, and then Dave invited me over to Carson, and, I met Punch and Top and everybody, and I seen Punch was recording. He was the engineer the whole time, and, I was like, yo, like, I think I can help, alleviate some time, let me sit in that seat, and the rest is really history.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was
a
a crazy,
long-winded story,
I mean, I heard Punch describe that once, sort of the origin of TDE and Top and Punch buying this board, putting in the studio, and then them sitting down, literally teaching themselves how to use it because they had no idea how
That
to
room
work
was
with
small
shit.
as hell back there.
It was the biggest thing to us.
I know, that's what I'm saying, because when I went over there, because the first time I went there, I had a 1978 Trans Am with no air conditioning. And me and Top was just out in the little, it was like a cul-de-sac. He was sitting there talking about, he was just, telling me a bunch of stuff that had went down at the house. And then the second time I went was when Kendrick played me Good Kid, Mad City. And I told him to take off the one song, which was a big mistake. He didn't take it off, though. But he had a song that Q-Tip produced.
Oh.
I wanted him to replace that song with and take off, what's the one Hit Boy did? All My Life.
Yeah.
Oh, Backseat for Sure.
Backseat,
Yeah.
freestyle.
I mean, which was a terrible advice.
Yes,
Bad
that was pretty
advice.
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible
That
advice.
beat's
And
crazy.
He made a good decision.
Everybody missed
but
everything.
but I also told him that he shouldn't add nothing to Poetic Justice, so he knew what to listen to and what
Right,
not to.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was
I think
smart.
I go back to just the intention. I think he's very intentional, right?
Exactly.
Like having a superpower to be able to intake feedback from people, even if they might have more
Yes.
experience than you,
Yeah.
and still like rationalize that in your mind
Yeah,
to make
the
the
way
best.
he processes
Like,
information.
that's
but he takes all the information in, which
Yes.
is an incredible talent.
Absolutely.
Because
It's an
I also
incredible
told him
talent.
to take MC8 off that song.
Oh yeah, that's what made it.
I was tripping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But see, I didn't think about.
You're not from LA though.
There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's very.
That's it.
That's a
and
very
I didn't
Atlanta
and I didn't
answer.
understand it. I'm an Atlanta dude.
Yeah,
Even though
that's
I knew Compton's Most Wanted, but
Yes.
it didn't hit me
It
like
didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean that to
what
me.
it meant to him.
It's
Yeah.
like me doing a song with Scarface or some shit like that. It meant more. So I understood. So he y'all definitely had it going. Y'all had it together because I think me and Dre has had that discussion. Like I feel like you all ushered in that sound of that album, the way it's meticulously done, how y'all did it. It just doesn't sound like anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back before Good Kid, right? When you go back and listen to Section 80,
Yeah.
right? When you listen to anything that dropped in the 2011s, right? It could not compare sonically. right? And that just is a testament to just, you know, how advanced and just forward thinking, right? Just you got to be as a creative, right, to take those risks, right, early on in your careers, right? Finding and develop a sound, right? You don't just come with the album like Good Kid without throwing shots on the board first, right? So, yeah, man, you know.
Where'd y'all mix it at? Do most of the mixing?
Which one?
Good Kid?
Good Kid, we did it at No Excuses. Rest in peace, No Excuses.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a time.
That was a time.
Yeah, the Tom Tom Club.
Talk about the
Yeah.
Tom Tom Club and all that. And you guys ushered in right at the back end of it, right?
Yeah,
Like, 'cause it was like,
they closed it after we kind of
Yeah.
ran our course there.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, we had all the rooms locked out.
Yeah.
Like, it was home base for years.
oh yeah.
There's a TDE project that I honestly wish was talked about more, and it's Control System. And I think that speaks to what you're talking about, like trying to find a sound and honing an experience for an audience. Because that project is talking about Bohemian Grove, conspiracy theories, you know, relationships gone awry, being like just the breadth of his thought process is what stood
I'm
out
not
to
gonna
us.
lie, a lot of that went over my head as I'm recording and mixing it, right? You know, as you know, severe ADD, right? So as I'm mixing or recording, right, I got two screens up. I'm over here, you know, on the internet or doing something else, right, in this early time, and you know, it wasn't until after the album came out and I was able to really sit with it and you know, just listen to what was being said and you know, playing it back over and over and researching. You know, Bohemian Grove. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, I wasn't that educated. You know, early on, I didn't understand a lot of these, you know, just topics that he were hitting on. But you know, now looking back, it's like, fuck, man.
It's really crazy. I mean, the line on the Hard Part 6, what that really looks at TDE's growth and their experience, where Kendrick's talking about the influence that Ab-Soul had on him. And I always think about that particular album, that particular time, as perhaps when Kendrick was taking jewels from Ab-Soul. What was their relationship like in the studio?
Man, I mean, it's two samurais, you know, constantly going back and forth, you know, in the small quarters. You know, Dot definitely always mentioned that he looked up to just his pen, Soul's pen, right? The way he put words together, the way, you know, he, you know, double, triple entendres, like, you know, for somebody who's a writer, somebody who is playing the game as a sport, right, is gonna look at that and be like, yo, okay, I got some competition. I think that was like really the X factor in, you know, just the early TD days is, right, it's having a small place where you have these four individuals that are constantly trying to be better than each other, right? Like true rap camp. I think, you know, each one of these artists at TD, Schoolboy, you know, J-Rock, Ab-Soul, K-Dot, right? These are outliers in every term of the word, right? You know, being able to, you know, like in what world that early on in your career, you got a place that you could record 24/7 and you have a group of individuals and Soundwave as a producer that is constantly feeding new ideas, you know, that's you're bound for greatness, you know, so.
Just the competitive nature. Of
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Right? And everyone played their roles, right? So it's like, you know, look at it like a freeway, right? If you got 5 lanes, right, and everyone's trying to be the fastest in each lane, right? Everything moves forward together rather than everyone trying to be in, you know, in that center lane.
No, for sure. It's competitive and just like helping each other grow, not like at each other.
How the hell you wasn't sleepy though?
Yeah, cause I'm fresh off, you know, robbing people off Craigslist, trying to find out what I'm about to do with my life. Like I'm like,
this is like hitting the jackpot. You know,
like, are you kidding me? Like,
I don't care how broke I was getting some rest. I'm just saying because
this man fell asleep on the couch in my office a lot of times, so I have to vouch for
man,
this.
I'm going.
I have
to
to vouch for him telling the truth here.
But you talking about 4 rappers though, and they all clocking in, and he doing all the recording. I'm just like, do you understand that grind? Because everybody want to work.
But it was a time where, you know, and I'm a big firm believer in timing is everything because of this. Like, I didn't have kids. I didn't have a job, right? I didn't need or want for anything, right? You know, I could make a few dollars to pay a phone bill or to do whatever. You know, so it was, I looked at it, you know, I've never been a part of nothing my whole life. You know, it's like constantly, you know, trying to figure out like where I fit in. And like now taking this idea of, oh, I could be in music or I can add value by not doing something outside of who I am or what I do. I'm genuinely a part of something that I'm adding value. Like, what else am I gonna do, right? I'm gonna invest every second into playing my part to be the best that I could be to add to this machine that I see is building.
It becomes an actual work family.
Absolutely.
Like you actually have like a unit like that. Are
you kidding me?
I mean, it's
that's
impossible.
what's lacking. It's what's lacking
I mean,
today.
it's actually impossible. I mean, like it happened back then, but like what you guys like that moment was so special. But yes, music's definitely lacking that overall. But you guys had it to a level that doesn't really exist.
And it was organic because everyone wanted to do it, right?
That's
it's
what
like
I mean.
Wave wanted to be the best producer.
Nobody was pulled. It was no.
The artists wanted to be the best artists. Like Todd was killing it. Punch, you know what I'm saying? Like Dave, everyone like was
Working as a unit.
Exactly.
Like it was like just common goal.
So
I don't know if you. I mean, I know you remember this, but you was a DJ, my nigga.
yeah. What a time too.
You're the tour DJ.
Yeah, it's
DJ
funny.
Ali.
It's not by decision. Let me let you know.
Yes, sir.
Let me let you know that it's not. It definitely wasn't by choice. It's funny because like looking back at a lot of those times, right? A lot of just like the decisions that I've made and the things that I've done, like just the creative styles that I've approached, was a product of like being dropped in the middle of the fire and be like, yo, find your way out.
Yep.
Todd
Figure
was,
it out.
my mixing style, we never had, stems to tracks that we recorded, right? And Todd would come downstairs and, he would say, okay, it sounds cool, but make it sound different. Make it sound like shit is moving. Like, make it sound cool. I'm like, I don't have stems. Like, we just downloaded the 2-track off, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, try something. And like, that's when I get into like, really doing effects and making, listeners experience the song, right? Which developed into my mixing style.
Yeah.
Right? When it come to DJing, I knew all the records, right? No one who else was gonna DJ, right? I know Dave was getting more into managing, right? Where he couldn't, jump from the stage to, going to chase the front end and back ends, right? So I was like, well, I know the music. There's an instant replay right here. If you guys remember the instant replays, and it was a fucking hilarious time because I remember I forgot what tour it was early. First time, I think I'm in Utah or some shit. Like, I think the gorgeous Seattle, Utah was it was something in Utah, and like one of those summer radio smash concerts or whatever. We have a show. First time I'm publicly out there, like, okay, as the DJ, I'm scared as shit, right? I'm telling you, I'm an engineer. I'm already, terrible communication, right? I'm terrible anxiety, all the worst things, all the worst traits you need as a DJ.
Yes.
And Top used to make us rehearse in the back of the house in the studio, like put us to like everyone needs to rehearse for these hours, like get the show together, and then you guys are gonna perform it in front of me. So obviously we know Top, so we going crazy, having a good time, dude.
Comfortable.
Boy, I get to this radio show, it's an amphitheater, man. I get on the mic, I start stuttering, like I'm pushing the wrong buttons on there. I completely fucked the show up, right?
That's great.
And again, it was just funny to everybody, but me, I'm like, yo, like I'm about to get killed for this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just completely ruined the show. But it was, from there they got better and better and better. And I think the last tour I did was right before Yeezus.
That's crazy, man. I just remember coming to the studio, and I'm not gonna say this. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it on camera. And I'm sitting there talking to you. And we was talking about weed. This is a long time ago. He's a professional now, but so this is back in the days. I understand I've been knowing this man over a decade.
Yeah.
Anyway.
15 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like 16, 15
years.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm in there. He's smoking. He's just going. I'm like Snoop Dogg over there. I'm just like, dog, what? I'm just like, yo, how much you think you spend on that a month? He said, yeah, probably about 5,000-10,000. He said, don't tell Top.
5,000-10,000 a month.
That was an overstatement.
No, I'm just telling you what you said. I'm telling you what you said.
I mean, it was probably
forward.
like 500, and to me at that time it was like 10,000.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
when he said that shit, I was like, I just looked at him like, man, these niggas getting money. I said, the engineers spending like 5,000. Why they getting money, dog?
They're printing already. Yeah.
I remember because I walked out and I walked in the lobby. I went and shook Top hand. I said, man, y'all doing it, man. I was excited. I was like, man, y'all doing it.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm
Fuck the
saying,
rent.
in those days, man, you get an ounce of weed, man. You know, that's all you need in life. It's the little things in life.
Nah, I think you did. It was like a studio in like Hollywood.
Yeah.
You remember that? You got that one?
That was my first one. So it was actually me and Brocky Marciano, Brock Corson. Shout out to my dog. And Ricky Riera, one half of THC, producers that did Collard Greens and M.A.A.d City.
Yep.
So yeah, man, it's we found this janky fucking Hollywood like landlord that would take these office buildings and convert them into like studio units. It was you had homeless people living in the you know what I'm saying?
Where in Hollywood was it?
It was right across from Record Plant on
Right by Record
Sycamore
Plant.
Gotcha.
and
By that Trader Joe's
Santa
over
Monica.
there.
Oh, right
Was-
there.
was
Right
that
there,
Orange?
yeah.
Was that somewhere by
Santa Monica. It's a Trader Joe's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now there is by the Target across.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had this very first spot of like venturing off into like my first like just business. Like I've always been into like figuring out how to make money. Like I had the paper routes, the grass cutting stuff, and now that I'm a bit established in music, and I'm working on albums. I need studios, right? So, I embarked upon trying to create a studio with two other individuals, right? Whom are my brothers, and even to this day are my brothers. But it just you know it wasn't the vibe, it was we put the time into building it up. We definitely did the construction. It was a great experience. But you get egos that clash. People want to use the rooms. They want to invite other people to hang out, and you can't really get no work done. So
It was, because I came to your grand opening, and I remember y'all had the lights. It had like it felt more clubby.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It had like a club vibe, and I knew
with the
based
white
on-
walls and
Yeah, with the way the lighting was, because it was at night when I pulled up. But I knew when I first saw it that wasn't gonna be what you got going on right now.
It was
I just knew I knew how that was gonna end when
Yeah.
I seen it, because it felt more like it felt like the homies pulling up, hanging out.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, which I mean we're gonna get into it, I knew where you were ascending to as far as your level of professionalism. So when I came to Can-Am that you bought it or whatever, that's when I knew, okay, he's arrived. You know what I'm
I think like I go through these like modes in life of like I think one of my superpowers is like knowing what is understanding that I don't know everything, right? I'm always like I might be quiet at times, but like I'm digesting everything. I'm becoming a fly on the wall. I've done that for years, right? I've watched some of the most brilliant creatives, create some of the most timeless music. I've watched executives, create deals and change the game. I used to be invited. I used to go to the meetings when those deals happened, right? Just because I was big, and it's like, okay, I'm using this opportunity to kind of like let me listen and see. And it wasn't until I started just taking that next, I would say, leap in life, and like, okay, I can't be the kid forever. I can't be the guy who is known for smoking weed and pounds of weed in the back of the studio forever. Like, I don't want to be known for that, right? I want to be known for adding true value, but I feel like the value that I can provide can be bigger than that, right? But I have to change a lot. I have to change, in multiple ways. And, all the things like the studio in Hollywood, I believe that those are all just stepping stones because of me trying. I'm figuring it out.
That's what I was just gonna say.
You
Like,
know?
and you could see your ascension and like how like it built. You went to college with the first studio.
I started a
next
weed
one.
delivery business,
Yeah.
like Uber Collective, where even Uber sent us a cease and desist.
that, yeah.
Like all these things, like looking back at it, like I was like, yeah, okay, I really had the experience of building a business. It might have just went to complete hell,
Yeah.
right? But there's like I've had just more experience than the average, so like okay, I can do it, right? And I just, I find a way to take a lesson out of every loss that I take and use that as a stepping stone to continue forward.
You want big change, it costs big change.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The third thirst.
So I just want you to, because I know a lot of people just associate you with TDE, right? But I want you to just talk about like some of the projects, like just give me like 10 or just a list of some of the projects that you've mixed, because I know your history, that you would say like, because you really mix some transcendent projects, you know what I'm saying? So I just want, I want
Let the people know.
let the people know, because
Yeah.
you done some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but I just,
I've been blessed, man. Just having the opportunity to work with such incredible artists, right? And them blowing up, it's only going to bring attention to why does it sound that way, right?
Yes.
And from that, after doing Good Kid, we did YG's My Crazy Life, which was another hit. After that, we did Schoolboy Q's album, and then from Schoolboy Q, I think I did another YG album after that, and then Mac Miller's Divine Feminine. I did Nipsey Hussle's, Victory Lap. I did Roddy Ricch.
Slow down, dog. Slow down.
It's raining classics.
It's like
Raining classics.
You talking too fast. It's classics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slow down.
incredible artists.
You gotta slow down.
All right, so we got
Okay.
if we go to chain events, so
Good
we
Kid,
have
M.A.A.d City.
Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, YG's My Crazy Life, Schoolboy Q's Oxymoron.
Wow.
From that, I believe we did another YG album after that. I think it was Still Brazy, I believe, but I did Still Brazy. From that, we did Danny Brown's The Atrocity Exhibition.
Wow.
From that, we did Mac Miller's Divine Feminine. From that, we did, I think Black Panther was after that. and we did Victory Lap. You know, we did ASAP Rockies at Last Long ASAP album. I've done Cardi B's first album, about half of that.
Summer Walker.
Summer Walker's debut album, Roddy Ricch,
SZA.
Antisocial,
Right.
SZA, Control. I did that.
He forgot SZA's
Brockhampton.
Control.
Yeah. I've been blessed to be a part of some incredible albums. You know.
That's crazy.
It's when you know you've done that
I
much.
forgot.
Once you leave
And
it,
then he
it's
didn't
like,
name the other Kendrick.
Oh yeah. We
Right.
got To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn.
damn, I was gonna say for sure.
This motherfucker right here.
And then we went up. The curveball. Shout out to Tunji. It was Tunji brought me in to do Danny Brown or Donald Glover's This Is America.
This is America.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we did that as well.
Dog,
So
listen.
you're a Pulitzer Prize winning engineer?
Something like
Does
that.
it work like that?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
some
yeah, is that how it
accolades.
works?
Yeah.
I reminded him.
Is that how it works?
I reminded him of this time when I was at the studio, and I'm gonna bring it up on the thing. Him and Terrace Martin. I mean, I think everybody had a problem with Terrace on that To Pimp a Butterfly because they were spending so much money on the musicians.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy, and Terrace would always just the way he is. Ali and Terrace would always be going into it. I remember Ali had to walk out of the studio. That shit was crazy. I thought he was, because Ali is not a small man. He's not fat. He's not like, but he's like security size. Like, when he just walked up, I dapped him up. I had to go up.
You gotta remember.
I was
like,
up
it's
here
like,
with
okay,
it. I had to go
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But Ali not small, and Terrace is not the biggest person.
Right.
But Terrace be talking shit.
Yeah.
I tell Ali that Terrace is chemically off. Terrace, you know you off. We all off, but your ass is crazy.
We all got a little crazy. I think with Terrace, it's a very transitional phase of my life, right?
That's a great lead-in.
Very transitional.
That was brilliant.
You know, I think we were. It was multiple times. I think one of the earliest times, Terrace, because Terrace, people don't realize Terrace is one of my biggest inspirations. Like he's the one that connected me with DJ Quick,
Yeah.
who early on, it's funny because when we were mixing J-Rock's Follow Me Home album, Dre gave us the front room at Encore while he was in the
right.
back.
Yep.
Right, so I was mixing that there. Top got Dre to give us that front room to mix the J-Rock album. And Terrace would be there, right? And Terrace called Quick in to kind of show me a little bit of what he knew. People don't tell you, Quick is an incredible mixing engineer.
Oh, it's incredible.
Right, like he's probably like one of the best.
Top
Like,
five.
He's
easily.
For sure.
Right, especially when it comes to the console, right? And the two individuals who inspired me to use the consoles is Dre and fucking Quick, right?
and you had him in the same building.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Imagine a kid from LA,
Yep.
right? I grew up on Death Row, DPG, Corrupt, Drake,
Yeah, of course.
And now, now he's, they're all right.
Now it's peers.
It's fucked me up.
Yeah, it's like-
it completely just like the imposter syndrome was like on an all-time
Oh,
high.
yeah.
But again, I'm still 1 foot in and 1 foot out in the streets during this time. It was very early, and Terrace would just, he would give game, but sometimes, if you have a drink or two, right, you kind of turn into a little dickhead sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey, Ali got so mad, dog. I was scared for Terrace because we none of us was big enough to get Ali up off
To
him.
stop him?
To stop him. He walked out the room, man. I was
It's
like,
friendly
I
banter.
was proud of him though, cause Terrace was pushing them buttons.
because I had to fucking answer the top if we fuck something up in Dre's studio.
Exactly.
So again, turning point in life, right? Is weighing your decisions. Very,
Yeah.
very, very early on. But yeah, man, shout out to Terrace, man. Incredible creative, man. Incredible human being, right? Again, man. Once you understand how people are, it's like no one should really upset you or whatnot.
And I'm gonna stop bringing up this old shit. I just want to ask.
No, I love it. It makes you think about it because we
Yeah.
don't talk about it.
Yeah,
right? It's so much have happened. So much
But
has happened.
this one time on Kendrick's song, I forgot which heart it was, but I always laugh at the front of it because he said, "Ali, you mixed with Dre, right?" Now, what was he talking about?
It's funny because it's a picture. I'll send you guys a picture. Dot had a radio show in Anaheim at the Toyota Center, I believe it was. I think it was like one of the power radio station shows, whatever it was. And I'm DJing, right? And I was late to the show because I was finishing the mix of Swimming Pools with Dre.
Wow.
We were at No Excuses, and I took the photo. I'm like in some bullshit. but like even Dot just knew the magnitude of like who I inspired to be and to be around, and we all grew up to this to you know what I'm saying, and it was happening. It was like one of those moments of like I felt like when he said that, it was like he was acknowledging like it's happening, you know. So it was like a real crazy moment.
And the last thing, I remember you called me one day. I don't know, because I came over to Can-Am. You had just bought it. Or, you know, you was building a new room.
Yeah.
And you wanted, I don't know how it came up you wanted to get with Dre. I don't know what we were talking about.
It was. I think it was before Can-Am.
Was it before Can-Am?
That's when you set it up when I went to the house.
When I went to you went to this house.
So this
was that before Can-Am?
This is before Can-Am. Yeah. This was before we even had a, you know, and it's a funny story. I completely shit the bed when we had the conversation. I'm super embarrassed by it. Dre, you see this, man? I'm sorry. I wasn't ready. But nah, it was early in. So, you know, obviously as we, you know, build this, you know, incredible career as an audio engineer, been a part of some incredible music. You know, I kind of reached this like brick wall because like, damn, like shit happened so fast. Like you guys seen it. You guys were a part of it.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So it happened, and somebody like me who came in at such a ground level, right? I really didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
Did not understand it at all. I just kept my mouth shut. You know, I was just happy to be, you know, part of this. I was, you know, and, you know, the feeling of not understanding it is like, it put me on like a dark path, you know, because it was like, I don't understand it, well, fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't put value behind it because you don't understand, like, what's going on. Like, you know, and it sounds like some bullshit, but it was really something going on in my head at that time. And, you know, I hit the streets heavy, crash, like I was partying heavy. Like, you know, I got all this fucking money. You know, I got access to everything. And I just, you know, just was partying, you know. And I was not inspired to create. And, you know, what kind of got me re-inspired was all these people reaching out to me, like, yo, Ali, how did you do this? You know, I love what you did on this. Like, how'd you do it? In my mind, I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just turned these knobs and it felt good to me and I printed it. Like, you know? So at that point, I started, like, let me see if people want to hear me talk about what I do. You know, so I had this concept of basically just giving back, like, you know, finding purpose and explaining what I did to people, you know what I'm saying, in like a real outlined and refreshed way, right? Through workshops.
Yes.
And it's funny because I went to, you know, Kendrick's agents that I knew very close, and, you know, I'm like, yo, I got this concept for like a show where an engineer people can come pay tickets to come hear me, and they're like, nah, we don't see no value in that. Like, nah, we're cool. So I'm like, fuck it. Like, so I did pre-sales. You know, 1500 just launched their academy.
Right.
So, you know, I was like, okay, cool. I'm cool with them. So I'm like, yo, like, let me do a workshop here in one of the classrooms. You know, yada yada yada. So I put pre-sale tickets up online for $1,000 a seat, and it sold out in like 6 days.
Wow.
Right. And I was like, oh wow, like, people do want to hear what I got to say. So we packed it out, sold it out, started putting the recaps online on social media, and I'm start getting people from Germany, Europe, you know, all around the world, like, you should come here. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, I kind of got re-inspired through this, like, new phase, I would say, of what I've built already, right? You know, being an engineer, I've been a part of some big records. I got some of the biggest artists, you know, wanting me to work on their music. And it's crazy to say that wasn't inspiring me at that moment. You know, what was inspiring me is, like, showing somebody who looked like me how you can also do what I did.
Right.
Right? And that showed me that, oh, there's a business behind this as well, right? So, you know, after the first workshop, you know, we launched a world tour and sold it out. You know, made $500,000, right, in less than a month.
Wow.
You know, selling tickets.
Crazy.
You know, then I had to figure out how to book travel, rent the venues, rent the equipment,
Right.
travel with a staff. Like, now I'm learning profit and loss. Now I'm learning, like, again, going back on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm sitting on $500,000 of people's money that I got to use to go and
To go make it happen.
or
To
I
go
could just
through.
go get a Rolls Royce real quick
Right,
and just,
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But, you know, it just, again, re-inspired me until, okay, it's just like, it affirms, like, the way I live my life, whether it's a good or a bad thing, right, in chapters, right? And I felt like this was entering, like, a new page in my book with, like, now, okay, I've gotten far in my career. It was almost like a journey that I was, like, setting myself on, like, with, like, doing these workshops. I was almost, like, learning new things about myself as I was doing that, you know? So they just became wildly successful, and then COVID hit, right? And during when COVID hit, I was like, damn, okay, we just spent all this time, you know, building up this momentum, building these Seeing Sounds workshops. Like, what are we gonna do now, right? And This is when you and I connected on the initial on the conversation. I had this, what we did at every workshop across the world was we left our attendees with questionnaires, right? Asking, simple questions. And one of the questions was, as a small business, what are the issues you deal with in real time?
Right.
And I hit everybody from, again, Korea, Japan, all through the States, Canada. And during COVID, we had nothing to do, but we had nothing but time. And I'm looking at this information and I'm like, shit, like, it's not just the education or the inspiration that we're currently providing through the workshops and our Instagram, it's the fucking business tools.
Yep.
Right.
If I got a kid in Japan, saying they're dealing with, I'm having a hard time growing my clientele. I got a kid in Toronto saying, how do I manage multiple bookings? I got somebody here saying I'm having a hard time, getting paid for the work that I already did. Right, and I'm like, fuck, I'm dealing with every one of those issues, and I'm one of the biggest engineers in the world. Okay,
Right.
So now the next phase, let's solve that problem. Right, and that's when I reached out to you. I didn't know anything about building a fucking tech company or building a technical solution, whatever we called it at that time.
Right.
And all I knew was I need some money, and I need people who have been a part of, being a part of being a creative, turning into a founder. Right, so the first person I thought of was the person whose steps I'm already trying to follow, right? It's Dre, right? So I hit Stat. I'm like, I got this idea. I got a deck, which the deck was complete dog shit. I can't wait to share it. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Complete dog shit, bro. I was so embarrassed,
Funny,
man.
we were talking about decks yesterday.
But Stat was like, and this is when I realized that, the camaraderie that you build when you're so close to individuals as collaborators, where a simple request of like, I want to pitch something to Dre, right? And it's just a phone call. He literally is like, okay, go to this address, go to this house, boom. And I kind of, I wasn't prepared, because I was honestly expecting him to say like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying?
You weren't ready for the
Right.
You
I
know, the
wasn't ready
funniest
for
part
it.
of the funniest part of the meeting was Dre's like, just take a picture. Ali like, Stat, get in here. I said, nigga, are you crazy? Like, I'm like, y'all two of the most transcendent mixers in hip hop history.
Right.
You're now on that level based on the things you've done.
Yeah.
He's like, Stat, come get in the picture. I'm like, I'm not getting in that picture. I ain't mixing no records. Niggas, and the records I have mixed is nothing like what the fuck y'all did. That's one of the. I just thought it was so dope because I felt like it was like a. Because I think people credit Dre as being, of course, an incredible producer. But his ear for mixing is like literally, it's like a superpower to me.
It really is a superpower.
It's extraordinary. It's like on another level. It's like, I don't even think motherfuckers understand at how detailed and how crazy it gets with him. I know you know.
The mixing and as a guy who was at one point in my career, the guy who had to drive, because this is before the records back and forth to Bernie Grudman.
To master me? Oh, no.
No. I'm telling you, like 48 hours. It would be like version 31, like Big Bass Brian. Like I was like, literally, he's sitting in that room. I'm driving to Encore back to Marcus, who worked with me at the time. We're crossing each other on the street. I'm basically like throwing them into each other's window, and just keep going back. Like it was. I mean, he really is Superman and that stuff. And like he's telling me things like, "You hear that?" I go. What's the right answer? Well, I was like, I want to go to bed. Yes. I was like, ready. I was like, you think I hear what you hear? I appreciate that, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the next one. Just hand it. It was like
that's the genius of Dre.
Oh no,
man.
such
like
the genius.
It's like, man, like just even going back and saying this, right, off of, just the history. Like this is somebody whom I was in the back room of No Excuses, while he was in the front room, and we split, Good Kid, Mad City in half, and he took half, I took half, and. I had an open door policy to go and play him my mixes, and he would give me or he would just sneak into my room and give me a thumbs up, or you know what I'm saying? This thumbs down, like, I got
just that access, the fact that that's real life.
And I'm realizing I'm getting trained.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting like I sat back and I'm like, like this man is. He even said it. I have footage of like mixing the whole album with Doc, and in one of them he was like, in 20, 30 years I've never let cameras into a studio while I'm mixing, right? And he's like. It was a crazy moment, right? And it's I've taken everything I learned from there, and obviously the good Doc is also a great teacher because look what the career came after the fact,
Because it's a generation of people that hear your mixes and you are their Dr. Dre. Do you understand what I'm saying? because of the projects,
The records that you worked on, that
the
shaped
records
their
that you
lives.
worked on. Like, I mean,
You know how many people come to me and say that, bro? Like, and I'm like,
but it's really what it is, though.
Yeah, but
I'm
you're
30.
you.
They're
Yeah, I
calling
know,
me. I'm
yeah.
like, yo, I'm 30. I'm like, yo, am I old? Like, I have to look in the. Like,
Nah, but that's why that photo of you and him is like, it's just super important to me. And you calling me, man, thank you, Stat. Like, you know, I'm like, thank me.
Yeah.
No, nigga, thank you. Are you kidding me? For being great, for being who you were intended to be, who your parents intended you to be, and being incredible. Because the projects, you could have just stopped at Kendrick, bruh.
Yep.
That would have been it. But you got to understand, from Victory Lap to the Scissors to Summer Walker, like, you didn't just lean on TDE.
Home team, yeah.
You went outside of that
Right.
and created moments with people that had nothing to do with your ascension to the top.
Right.
You created your own moments outside of that, and that's greatness to me.
Yeah.
Because anybody can say, yeah, of course he got that because he's with TDE. Of course he got them mixes, but you don't got nothing to do with Summer Walker.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And that's outside your will. It's R&B. I didn't even know.
I think that it was a lot. It was a lot to have to do with, like just proving to myself, like it's not just this. Like, you know, it's like it's almost like just like affirmation, right? It's obviously, if you're part of an incredible crew, right, you're gonna be a part of that, right?
Yep.
But like, how can you stand on your own, right? And I gratefully I had the space to be able to work with other artists, and and top encouraging that, right? Because all it did was continue to make the brand bigger.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, I'm like, yo, I'm adding more value. I'm bringing more to the table, right? I'm building, while the artists are doing their thing, now you got people I'm in the studios with all the other artists, right, that are not a part of TD, and I'm still waving the flag.
Yep.
And that just continues to, just show the impact of what was built, right, behind the scenes and, publicly. But yeah, man, it's, and also it just showed me, like, yo, it's, just always just reach for stars, man. Like, it sounds cliche to say, right? A lot of people would just stop with TDE and just like, oh, I'm gonna just do everything we're doing here. But why not do all of that and more? We all got the same 24 hours. What are you gonna do with yours? I'm on traveling with Dot to the next show, coming up with business plans on how I'm gonna get this weed delivery service off the ground. I'm telling ideas, and I'm telling Dot ideas about the platform. Way before it's. And I think that's what they all like really appreciate with me as well, is that I wasn't stagnant. That they could see that I was constantly always trying something new. Because I think
The entrepreneur in you.
it's you see that, it's like, okay, it's funny because even Dot was like, just seeing the idea of EngineEars coming to life. He was like, that inspired me to push forward and to build the PG Lang, and to build to build a lot of that and. It's like, damn, people are watching like that, And
No, for sure.
The third person.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's hearing you talk about your, the things you learned about building a business over the years, your mentorship with Dr. Dre, and how you've been able to share that downstream with engineers and artists across the world. It kind of makes sense that you would launch EngineEars, right? Because when I think about EngineEars as a platform, it's like an Airbnb for studios and engineers, where people can find a studio in their town or wherever they are. They can find Grammy-winning engineers to work with at a reasonable rate down to a song, and then also adds distribution at the same time, so that you can still have a home base to see how your work is reaching people.
Right. Our goal from the jump was always to develop the operating system of the music industry.
Yep.
Right. But from that, it's what is our entry point, right? Like, how do we achieve this grand vision, this almost just beyond ambitious vision, right? And okay, we start with what I know best, right? I'm an audio engineer, right? I also know that audio engineers are the conduit to every song that we've ever listened to. All right. We also know that the audio engineering part of creation is at the beginning of it. Right. So if we solve for these individuals, right, we provide a platform for an audio engineer, right, to sign up, create a profile, outline their portfolio of songs they've worked on in the past, right? Show the reviews from past clients, and then showcase the services, whether it's hourly recording time, per song mixing and mastering, right? And then our platform provides the back-end workflows to facilitate that collaboration. If we create this platform where engineers don't want to work nowhere else, and they're bringing their artist clients to work with them, then we see this flywheel start to spin, right? And that's what enabled us to be able to, okay, now let's offer similar tools to recording studios to schedule, right? As you continue to build up the vertical, right? And our assumption was when we introduced recording studios, when we closed our seed round was, okay, now that the audio engineers organically are bringing on more artists to join the platform, what can we provide an artist that's more value, that's least lift, or that's the path, like least resistance? Booking hourly session time. So what we've seen by introducing studios, for one studio that joins, they bring on at a minimum of 7 other recording engineers that work at that studio. Each 7 of those recording engineers bring on 10 of their own artists, clients that work with them, right? So now the thesis, the assumption behind solving the problem for the people that are at the foundational aspect of creation, right? That's going to enable us to continue to shoot up the vertical of music creation. And with this new product launch that we did with announcing direct to consumer sales for artists and distribution under one roof, it's showing that, right? Because now we've developed the only platform where the artist can go through the whole flow from 0 to 100, from creation to monetization under one roof, right? What other platform, whether it's DistroKid, Rock Nation, TuneCore, whatever, they're only capturing an artist once they're ready to distribute, right? So we're able to capture a creative in the creation phase because we built that trust there. We're nurturing these artists in that phase and providing them avenues to success. We're giving them feedback, rollout strat. We're giving them support that they're not getting from fucking major labels, right? So why wouldn't they one-click distribute or sell direct once they've completed their mix or master on the platform?
Yeah, they're 100% already comfortable. You're giving them the access and the knowledge and the options.
Right.
It's not like being forced. It's like, here are all these opportunities. Oh, you like this artist? He did this, this, and this. You like this here, and you don't know how to handle this. This is here. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do splits. You don't know how to do this. You can learn it this way. There's so much information and so much
it's the
equity
process,
in you're invested in you're there. You learn so much there. You feel comfortable here. You already have
this relationship there.
It's relationship, it's trust.
It's trust,
you don't feel like, oh, I have to do this. Like, oh, this is this option. This is if A doesn't work, I can do B, C, and D, and it's all there under one roof.
The way that we're able to evangelize, right, these audio engineers, these creators that were almost forgotten about, right, that were kind of forced to figure it out. Like our tech stack as an audio engineer, I fucking use Dropbox, Cash App, Venmo, QuickBooks. I use Instagram DMs. I use Facebook. I'm using all these things to manage just to get paid for a mix that I just fucking did 3 weeks ago.
I was going to say the payment side of it too.
Right? Yeah. So by us, offering the solutions from the ground level, we could build in a way where we're actually even training the artist to process. Do you have an LLC for your business when you're ready to release a song? Right? Do you have a rollout strategy to release this, or you just want to drop it ASAP? Like what are we doing here? Right? Like now, because streaming has always been this Band-Aid after, LimeWires, and but the Band-Aid is now ripped off. Yeah, right?
100%.
With one artist, only able to monetize on streaming once they hit that 1,000 stream threshold, right? In a quarter's time, you're only making $9 if you hit that threshold, right? Where in comparison, if only 2.5% of the 1,000 streams you're getting a month, right, spend $10 with you, you're making almost $1,000, right? So I'm not saying just don't use streaming. I'm saying use streaming as discovery, right? And these artists need to be building their fandom, their foundation, the people that are going to support them, like we did with TDE. Right, building that core 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to continue on and on, right? And that's what we're enabling artists to do through a streamlined platform, right? So, our goal is, as it always been, operating system, providing transparency, right? You got companies that are launching distribution platforms that are taking, 15%, and you got people like Russ that are, just like, why am I giving 15% just to press upload? You're 100% fucking correct. Right? Why would you do that when there's a company like EngineEars that allow you to keep unlimited distribution? You keep 100% of your earnings. How can we do that? How does that model work for us? Because we're not just distribution. We're also service providers with mixing, mastering, and studio bookings. Right. But so we can offer a more competitive product, a better product at a cheaper rate, right? Because it's not just that one service we're providing artists. It's a holistic operating system, an ecosystem that we're providing.
The difference between you and Russ, though, is he complaining without a solution.
And the cool thing, Russ is
you created a solution to a problem. I just don't like when people say complain and then they don't have a solution.
To Russ's credit, right? Russ is an investor in EngineEars.
Okay, there
right?
it is.
Russ is an investor. He sees the vision.
So he part of the solution then.
Right, exactly. That's my exact point, right? And it's, we want to show and prove by having a good product. We don't need everyone just being loud and rah-rah on the internet. right? We want to show and prove with a good fucking product, like we did with music when we dropped Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, like we dropped Oxymoron, like we dropped Control, right? And you see what that built into, right? So we're approaching, building in fucking technology, right? When everything's a boys club, right? Where people are not thinking about the trust that the music creators have and that they need to be able to trust a platform like ours to, to nurture their career from creation all the way to monetization, right? So, we're approaching it completely different, right? With the mindset of we're creative first. We want to maintain that creative intention in all facets of what we do.
What's in the water in Compton, in your opinion? You know what I mean? You got Dr. Dre, you got Q-Tip, I mean not Q-Tip, DJ Quick, excuse me. You did the box with Roddy Ricch. Yeah. You've got Kendrick, and then it's just my mind is crazy. You did Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, and then you did the other side of that with YG, My Crazy Life.
Yeah.
What is it about this address, do you think, that just fosters this impactful music and artistry?
Survival. I think, being from any of those areas, right? Gardena, Compton, Carson, Watts, right? Top Dog from, it's survival, right? You're built different. You look at life different, right? You move different. What are you saying? Painting for my body different, but it's the truth, right? You have, survival tactics that can't be trained in a university. Right, you have the ability to make something out of nothing, right? And I think that's what's in the water is the drive for wanting to make it out.
Yeah.
And I think if you it's a constant formula, right? Anybody, no matter where you're at in the world, you got Comptons all around the world, you got Gardenas all around the world, right? And in those places, right, they breed these type of individuals, whether they're soccer players, football players, whether they're musicians, whether they're tech CEOs, whether they're rocket scientists, right? These people who made something out of nothing because they had no other choice. Their back is against the fucking wall, and their chin is up, and they're swinging, taking every single shot, rather than being provided opportunity and not knowing what to do with it, right? That's the difference.
The third person.
Spotify just bought Who Sampled. What are your thoughts on that?
I was a bit confused at first. It was definitely, I'm always objectively, it's crazy shifting topics like that. I'm trying to get my mind back. But, I was kind of just look at it with the objective lens and kind of just understanding what might they be thinking, right? I'm crazy like that. I always think about what's the racket here? What's the play here?
Yeah, what's the end game?
What's the end game? I don't know, man. I think Spotify is just making decision after decision that's killing the trust that people, I think more than ever, are leaving the platform. The things that just Egg has done with the investments outside of the business, with already creators not getting paid for. It's just again, it's time. It's time for a change, right? So I think Who Sampled, although great for the company who developed that. Being the startup founder, I know what it is to build, right? And I know the blood, sweat, and tears that it takes, and getting to the point of acquisition is a big fucking deal. So shout out to you guys. But it's gonna be interesting to see on how that's going to continue to hurt creatives.
I think of Who Sampled as just the biggest list of crime,
Right.
in the music industry.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Most
all
wanted.
It's like the digital ice, what I'm saying?
it's basically what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm not sure if the average listener understands how. Yeah, Wikipedia, you can go there, you can find the liner notes, you can find the credits, but those are just the ones that are declared or the deals that have been made.
Right.
Anybody who's just had a sneaky sample that's in there somewhere, that's what whosampled.com will let you know, right? And so Spotify buying this now adds advanced credits to every song for writers who probably weren't credited on a lot of this music.
Right.
And now, which is where sampling started in the first place, you had a bunch of lawyers sitting around in the 80s saying, you know what, this hip hop thing is taking a whole lot of music from these rock guys.
Yeah.
Let me call them up and see if they would like to sue. And now we're adding that aspect to music in 2025. It's disappointing to me, but I feel like there's a whole lot of bills and invoices. A lot of indie artists are about to land in their inboxes.
Yeah, I think again, I got to do some more research and to kind of just look into it. But I think that has something to do with just a lot of these acquisitions in the catalog space. It's now a way to pinpoint where my money is. So I think it could be positioned as, hey, creators, we done something new for you, right? But, we all know everything that glitters ain't gold. So you know, again, you know, I'm going to definitely do some more research into that. And again, man, it's when you get this track record of just not being for the people, you know, you're going to constantly be looked at with the side eye, right? You know, so they're going to assume the worst, man. And you know, it might be looked at as a good deed in their eyes, but you know, yeah, man, you know, $600 million a month in fucking revenue from subscription, right? Is while artists, you know, that you know are not getting a dollar until they get 1,000 streams, right? Something is off there.
Have you guys thought about who's sampled?
Well, I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it. I had an idea that I was doing that's kind of like along the lines of what they're doing, but basically, this is gonna sound horrible, but fuck it, this is who I am. I'm horrible sometimes, but my business model was to go around to a lot of these groups. It's the type of treachery that music executives think of. So I just wanted to let y'all know into the mind of a psycho. Basically, go around to these groups that music has been sampled, but they have no idea. Lowball them, buy their catalog for nothing, then turn around and whatever label or artist that has put it out, basically sue them, and then I would
Make a claim
and make triple and quadruple my money back. That's the type of treachery I think of. I'm not a good person down deep. I'm horrible, and I really only care about myself. I just want to say it. So, yeah. Shout out to Ali for being a Robin Hood. I'm actually the antagonist in the movie.
Don't call me Robin Hood, man.
Oh, is that what's Robin Hood? I'm saying like
Robin's, you know.
He's not robbing. He's not stealing from anybody.
Oh no! What do we call it? Like Batman, like a good guy.
He didn't see it. He was trying to say you're the good guy. And he's
You're
the
the
bad
good
guy.
guy.
You're like
Without
Tony-
watching this,
you're like Tony
Oh
Stark.
no!
You don't even know what
You're not
happened.
robbing the hood. I know. No, I'm saying like a good guy. I'm actually I'm like the evil.
You're Sheriff of Nottingham.
We all
He
got a
literally
little-
has no. We're gonna get you all the cartoon movies. So
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
who you're comparing.
Yeah,
We gotta get
yeah.
a-
And so Robin Hood wasn't a good
We'll
guy.
have you sit
I know
with
he's a good
Ella
guy,
at home.
but-
You can watch everything.
Exactly. We got
Hold
to
on,
get
wait a
periodic
minute.
tables. All the good guys
no.
and bad guys.
No, I know we being serious. So Robin Hood is not a good guy.
No, Robin Hood's a good guy.
Yeah.
So he said don't call him Robin Hood.
Nah, I'm just saying in the sense of like, you know, I'm not doing this to like be like that guy.
Yeah, he's not
Oh, I
trying
know,
to-
I know.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I know, but I'm just, but we lie on different sides. See, you're trying to help people.
You're trying to help yourself.
I would help myself.
Yes.
But that's false though, because you didn't have to just send me to Dre's house.
You
did
know
it
why I
that way.
helped you? Because you part of me.
So that means a part of the good is with you can't
Ah,
have
it
the
all
good.
comes back out there.
We can save you.
I only help
Be
people. Just look at me. I only help people. I only want to help people that I know, that I love. The rest of y'all, I don't give a fuck about y'all. Y'all can blow up and disintegrate right in front of my face, and I would not care. I only care about me. That means all the people here. I care about their families, their friends. I care about y'all vicariously through these people. But if you don't know them or become enemies of them, it's fuck you too. You know what I'm saying? So your enemy is my enemy.
You can't have the light without the dark. Is
Yes,
what you're
that's
saying.
I am the dark. I am him.
Literally, right?
I am the darkness. I am darkness. And that's
darkness.
See, that leads. Now, fuck, we've been too serious. Let's get into some shit. That leads me to my other point, right? This has nothing to do with nothing, but I'm gonna say this. Okay, Candace Owens, all right? I'm gonna talk about you. This has nothing to do with EngineEars. This is separate. They like, who the fuck? Why are you talking about Candace Owens? I rock with you. I think you dope. Right? But when you say your kids and your children are the most important thing to you, but then you go and you present yourself and you talk about these controversial topics, this goes to anybody that does these things, right? You let me know that you don't give a fuck about your kids. We just watched Charlie Kirk get his head blown off for being controversial and talking shit. You're talking about, now, is the lady a man? Is she not a man? They done already told you to let that shit alone, okay? You gotta sit your ass down. They about to kill your black ass, and we gonna be talking about you next.
Can I argue that for a second?
Argue with
Can
it.
I argue that for a second? Although I'm a fan of Candace, right?
I am a fan too.
She brilliantly.
I love Candace. She's brilliant.
Brilliantly articulates herself, right?
I love her.
The way she's able, like, you know, and I wasn't always. I'm not even a political guy like that,
Yeah.
like, you know, but you know, like somebody who has the ability to, like, you know, speak their piece in a way so eloquently and just so, you know, just it's, you know, I admire her, right?
Yes.
You know, as me, somebody that's a lot of public speaking now, like, you know.
No, for sure.
But also, you know, like you mentioned, the position that she's taking, I also have thought like, why are you putting, like, why are you making yourself a target, right? But then I sit back and I was watching The Godfather of Harlem. Like, obviously that's not the best way to reference, Malcolm X on what we're talking about. But I feel like you have individuals that, really believe a higher being of themselves, right? That their purpose is bigger than any like thing around, even, and it's fucked up to say maybe even their kids, right? It's like their voice and the impact of what they are providing, right? They might believe that is like life and death, right? Because you look at, even Malcolm himself, right? Doing all his public speaking. I'm not comparing Candace Owens to Malcolm X.
Of course.
Please don't.
Right. Of course.
At all. Let's get that clear
but
right now.
But it's similar, though. Anybody
right? It's
that
similar
risked
with
their
the
lives.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's similar with the sacrifice, right? On how, because I would never, right? If anything's going to, risk, my kids and family safety, fuck what it is. Like, I'm out. Like, but just to argue, obviously, to her point, she's not here, obviously, but I don't know. It feels like the mission that she's on, right? I feel like it's just bigger. It's bigger than.
But that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
My point is, when you have all these different people that say that their kids is the most important thing to them, then you turn around.
It's conflicting for sure.
Because the issue that I have is she's not only putting herself in danger, she's putting her children in danger. For what? The greater purpose of what? And it leads me back to why I am the way that I am.
They watching her for sure. They outside her house right now.
Yes.
100%.
Right now.
Question.
Somebody check the trees. Like,
yes, because my thing, it leads me back to the point I'm making. And this is why I only choose to do for those that I know and love. Because who are these other motherfuckers that I'm sacrificing this shit for?
And how is that worth it?
Exactly. And listen, shout out to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They all helped me. Even though I think I would have made money, it don't matter what was going on. You could have put me in. You could put me in the jungle. I could have been a spear chucker, and I would have been a fat spear chucker with all the shit. I'm a hustler. You put me in. It don't matter where you put me at.
You got the shiniest spears.
It doesn't matter where you put me at. I have something special. Shout out to my mama and daddy. I'ma get it. But I'm saying I'm not sacrificing for none of you motherfuckers.
No,
I don't give a fuck. Republican, Democrat, all y'all can suck dick. Doesn't matter. I'm not fucking with y'all because y'all don't give a fuck about me. So why should I give a fuck about you?
Yeah, no.
So when I sit and watch people like Stephen A. Smith, shout out to him. He's trying to conquer the world. He did sports, but now he's moving into politics. These people politics make people get violent when you don't agree with what they say. Yep. So now Stephen A. is putting his whole lineage in the line of fire. You could be at Walmart, motherfucker trying to hit you. You with your kid, pop, pop, you done. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Charlie Kirk, his whole family was there. Imagine if he had his babies up there with him. You get what I'm saying? This shit's serious. And I'm saying, like, what the fuck is you doing it for? What are you doing? I don't even get it. I don't understand the rationale. Say you don't give a fuck about your family. Tell people the truth. You care more about this mission than your kids.
The greater good, this is how I am. Yeah, no.
Maybe that's a subtext when they say that. You know what I mean? Because I'm with you 100%. Like, why even go out there and say that your kids are the most important thing when clearly you'd rather go attack the president's wife in France and because of whatever purpose.
Yes.
But perhaps that is a way to connect with the audience. Like, I care this much about this issue that I'm willing to put the thing that I care about the most second
in jeopardy.
The kids in context. And perhaps that's a subtext.
So it's a powerful one, it's definitely conflicting, like I said, right? Just both sides. But yeah, man, I mean, fuck, I wouldn't do it.
You definitely wouldn't do it. No way. And DJ wouldn't do that shit either.
I mean, as much as I love to side-eye you and look at you like you're fucking crazy, which you are, most of the stuff you just said I agree with 10,000%.
There's no fucking way I'm doing that.
I would have said it a little different, but I agree with that.
Point made.
There's not enough honesty going on.
No, that couldn't be more true.
And the honest truth is people only give a fuck about the people that they give a fuck about. Yep. And Ali is somebody that I give a fuck about. Right. So that's why I would call somebody of Dre's magnitude and say, hey, Ali. And plus, I know how much Dre respect what Ali does. Yeah. I'm not going to just call him for anybody, but I know.
You're not making a wild card call.
Exactly. This is fucking Ali.
Vouching for us. Yeah.
Dre, like he said, they was in those rooms. Dre heard what he was doing. Dre has no problem with telling you to your face that you're garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, trust me. You had earned the right to be in that room. Because one thing Stat Quo and DJ are not doing is calling Dr. Dre with something that we think might backfire in our face.
Absolutely not, because it's a reflection on me. He gonna be like, "Are you really serious that you called me with this?"
Yeah, like you're still the guy. That'll be every conversation. 10 years from now, he'll bring that up.
Yes, he would call me to this day. You remember that time he tried to have such and such come to my house? A fucking loser.
I'm glad I didn't get that right.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, so.
Hey, yo,
we were winning.
There's a high power executive that I let borrow some money, and I told Dre about it. This how petty he is about some shit. He was like, FaceTime him so I could tell him to thank him for not signing Eminem and laugh in his face. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, no, it definitely.
Yeah, so he
so
don't
trust me, you deserve to be where you are.
He respects you to the utmost and sees
that doesn't mean what Stat did wasn't great and valuable. But he definitely there's a level of self-preservation in there that it would not happen otherwise.
Shout out to Doc, man.
DJ is definitely not taking just anyone to Dre or Jimmy. It's not happening. It's not happening.
I got too many Thanksgiving dinners invested that I know I have to go to that I can't.
So DJ, tell us about your little friend you invited.
Yeah. Remember that time?
That shit would be horrible.
Hilarious. That's a crazy visual though. Like you and Dre both mixing Good Kid, M.A.A.d City and like checking in on each other.
Yeah,
it was insane.
I got the footage, man. It's a funny story, man. This footage, man. There was this guy. We called him Jerry. It wasn't even his name. We looked at him one day and like, your name is Jerry, and like we ran with it, right? If you know that, that's like the funniest thing. But Jerry apparently, after all these years, was trying to like sell the footage back to me.
Oh wow.
And was like trying, because I had a hard drive that crashed. I had all of it, right? And I'm like, I'll just hit Jerry and I'll get it from Jerry. And I did that. And he's like holding it hostage. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Like, it's like, you're gonna be that guy. You're gonna turn into that guy. Like, you're not gonna be that guy. Like, he was like, yeah, I just want to see what we're gonna do with the footage, and this is my career. I'm like, nigga, you're literally recording me mixing, and you're telling me that this is your career?
Wow.
Like, and I was like, oh, like, you're crazy, So shout out to Jerry, because I definitely got the hard drive fixed, and I got all the footage.
Got all the footage.
I got all the
That
footage.
sounds like something that Jerry would do.
It's got a Jerry vibe for real.
Yeah, forever Jerry.
How many songs did you guys record in that apartment that y'all had downtown LA?
The apartment. It's not too many people that came by the apartment.
Tell people about that apartment that y'all had. Like, describe it, because y'all did some classic shit.
So
in that
we
apartment.
had, So there was. It's funny because I found out who had the apartment before I had it. He's always with Kid Cudi. It's a terrible entrance. But anyways, so I had this apartment downtown. We had got a penthouse. It's like my first like incredible like apartment. Like I got the view of the city. And we were in, and obviously Dot is like, that's Big Brother. So he's always like, just like, seeing the progress, always coming by the house to like, and we're in the Philippines. Like we had a show in the Philippines, in Manila. I was outside. I remember the vividly. I was outside by the pool before the show. I actually snuck off to go gamble a little bit and lost. And I ended up by the pool reading The Seat of the Soul, the book, The Seat of the Soul. And Dot comes out. And he's like, you still want that studio? I'm like, yeah, we gotta get some more shows so I can, what I'm saying? He's like, okay, but we get back and he just takes me to Guitar Center, right? And he just buys the whole fucking, like the whole studio in one setup, right?
Damn.
Speakers, computer, monitor, like just a whole, like, here is like that was like the first, So we would just record in my apartment, right? We recorded like half of To Pimp a Butterfly. I mixed half of Control there. No, it was Z, not Control. It was Z. So it's a Z project. Recorded and mixed that there in the apartment. But yeah, man, that was, we were just recording at the house.
That's crazy.
There's a theory going around on the internet, and they're calling it the poetic justice theory.
Really, what's that?
Okay, so the theory, and I can't remember the two creators' name, the podcaster's name, but shout out to them. It's a guy and his fiance, and in 2020, 2021, he went to a Kendrick Lamar rabbit hole and feels as though Drake's verse on Poetic Justice was actually written by Kendrick, and Kendrick actually had Drake secretly diss himself. And it's part of a much longer, like the breadcrumbs that he goes through extend from the Heart Part 2 all the way to Money Trees, right? Because the hook on Money Trees Money Trees is a perfect place for shade, and that's how I feel. And right after Money Trees is Poetic Justice. So Poetic Justice in the shade of Money Trees, and he's shading Drake. So that's the theory behind the Poetic Justice theory. What do you think about that?
It's 100% true. Nah, it's
That was good.
That's amazing.
nah, man. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there, man. That one in particular. As much as I would want to say that, like, yeah, it's all like, nah, like, I remember we sent the record to Drake. He just sent the verse, sent a couple verses back. I think he went back after Dot, like, did a verse. He wanted to do it again or whatever. But yeah, nah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I love the fact that a lot of these individuals like put together these theories because at times there's been multiple times, right, that I've had to call Dot because the way he puts albums together, right? When you go back and listen to Pimp a Butterfly, right? I didn't hear the Tupac skits until the album was done. Like, I didn't hear anything like how he's putting it together. Like he was still in his mind conceptualizing, how is he going to tie this together, right? Which is super, just creatively, like it's way more advanced than what I could even fathom at that time in my life.
Right.
So there's multiple times where I see theories online and I'm like, yo, is this true? Like, and I don't want to seem like a fucking idiot. Like I recorded this shit and it's like, yo, you what do you mean is it true? Like, and it's like I'm kind of, but there are things that he does do intentionally, right? And there's things that the fans put together. But I think either way, it goes back to just the art of the music. It's like that music is making people think that deeply now. Like that's fucking fantastic, right? You're not just listening to a song and going to the next on the playlist. You're coming up with these theories that make a lot of fucking sense.
That you can make sense.
That you can make sense.
Conspiracy-wise,
I've seen people reverse the track list to Damn.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, right?
Create that level of super fandom, that level of interest,
and that and that's
or hate or whatever, right. Whatever level of interest.
And that goes back to just the intellectual of Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
One of the smartest things he does is shut the fuck up, because the fact that he does not talk and does not answer those questions, it just gives him that much more of a mystery, and it makes him more. I remember I'm talking about Dre a lot, but I remember Dre just talking about that the problem with a lot of artists is they don't really understand the power and mystery.
Yeah. I was just gonna say.
And that's what Dr. Dre has that. Like, cause you just like, what is Dre doing?
Yeah, you want to know.
You want to know, like, what?
Like now, especially now. He's talking about especially now when everything you do is not only all the music stuff you do, but all your it's what you're eating for lunch. People know. Right. Like, I mean, it's so little.
But he comes from that era of mystique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Think about before streaming, social media, like every artist had that. Yeah. Right? They
some level of it. He took it to an extreme even then.
100, even then, exactly. But just the whole concept of just like, yo, you're not accessible to her. When I see you, I remember seeing Game for the first time at the Sherman Oaks Galleria. Like, and I was what I'm saying? I was like, what I'm saying? It was that mystique of somebody that you only listen to or hear on CDs or on the radio, and it's like this person's in the flesh, like and that he doesn't thrive off of the attention. Like he's never been that guy. Like I'm talking about like never went to the clubs, never drank, never smoked, never wanted to be in the mix. Like what I'm saying? Like his studio, whenever we traveled, the hotel was the studio. Like, and again, that alone is a superpower, right? Imagine having access to the world, right? And
not needing it.
Like I had a fraction of it and I hit the wall burning.
Yeah.
So it's admirable, man. Like, when you can preserve your mystique.
No, for sure.
I had this one time, me and Game we was leaving like Panera Bread in North Hollywood, and we was walking down the street, and these two white boys came up to Game, and they said, "Oh, what's up, Game? What's going on?" And he banged on their ass like, "The fuck you talking about? What's up, blood?" Da, da, da. And I'm like, damn, why you so mean to him, right? And as he was walking away, the two little white boys was like, man, he's really a gangster in real life.
Yeah.
And that shit really just hit me at that moment when he did that, because he was like, they want to meet
They want to meet Game.
who they listening to.
Yeah.
Right.
He said your job my job is to know who want to meet Game and who want to meet JC on Taylor.
Yeah.
And he said those kids wanted to meet the Game.
They wanted that.
They met him.
They met him.
Tell their friend. Yeah.
And like that's when I knew. Like I mean, I knew before then, but I'm like, damn, I was never meant to be a superstar. Cause I don't know. I would have fucked it up from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I've been like, hey, come on, guys.
We have this-
It's a funny story. I'm sorry. It's a funny Game story, bro. I never told nobody that. It was so embarrassing for me as well. We're at it was a DJ Ski directed video shoot. The one with Travis Barker was on the drums.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're at the video shoot, right? You know, me, J-Rod, K-Dot, Top, we all, the two T's, Dave, like the whole squad, like we went to the shoot. And I wore a fucking V-neck, a white V-neck, right, to this video. And like the director was like, yo, we need some extras, right? So I'm like, you know, Top needs to fuck with me, like go in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, this is already my favorite story.
I'm like, all right, dog. So I get in the video, we do the shot, dog. And out the shadows, bro, Game like starts tripping. I don't know what happened. And he was like, yeah, and it's any nigga with a V-neck, you getting edited out. I'm like, oh, damn. I'm looking around. I'm like, these niggas got me fucked up. And lo and behold, I got edited the fuck out.
Not the V-neck.
That is incredible.
Funny as hell, man.
Oh, man.
That's funny as fuck.
Game is great.
Yeah.
That's funny
I
as
was
fuck.
disappointed, though.
That was funny as fuck.
Third verse.
We have a segment here called Third Verse, where we shout out our favorite third verses to different songs that we love. Do you have a third verse you want to share with us?
Man, do songs even have third verses anymore?
That's why
Kind
we
of-
That's why we
kind of
call it
where
that.
this whole thing
That's
came
why we
from.
did it. That's exactly why we did it.
Man, in the spirit of just conversation, you know, Nipsey and Dot, you know, a dedication, you know, a victory lap. You know, just Nipsey, you know, breaking down this third verse. You know, this is not entertainment, right? This is, you know, it's been niggas off the slave ship. You know, I feel like in Nipsey's whole legacy, right, it's about giving game, right? It's about showing the blueprint on how somebody that looks like us, that has the accents like us, that's tattooed face down, that you can still be an executive, right? You can still own your masters, right? You can still, learn from even executives' mistakes and still create, you know, these formulas that, you know, that provide you success. So I think that third verse on dedication, you can hear the passion, right? You know, just that you can hear in his voice, like mentally the sacrifices he takes for himself, right? Jumping off the deep end, right? Getting to the shore. You know, I hope my experience is not, is not discouraging other people. So yeah, I mean, obviously I can't recite the verse verbatim. You know, my memory's not as it used to be, but I know for a fact that verse, the way it just embodies, it embodies just the title itself, dedication. Dedicate yourself to go the long route, to bet on yourself and dive off the deep end, and work hard to get to the point where you're making millions and you're doing what you got to do. You know, so I think that whole album, Victory Lap, right? Just the title. You know, it's that album was his victory lap. You know, and yeah.
Yeah. Incredible project, man. I mean, what's my favorite genre? Hustle and Motivate. Yeah. It's still one of the songs I listen to in the gym every morning.
It's a hustler's blueprint. You know, it's a hustler's blueprint.
Yeah, it
the
is.
album,
yeah.
you know, and it's like being from the city, like being from LA. Like these stories resonate with you so heavily because it's like, you know, just like Good Kid, M.A.A.d City or My Crazy Life, right? From the city, like there's stories in all of this that you could pinpoint, but like, I get it. Like Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, like I remember, you know, trying to visit a young lady in the opposition's neighborhood, and you know, my car breaking down and having to, you know, find a way out, right? And you know, in My Crazy Life, right, just, you know, going all the way to Victory Lap. I feel like a lot of the albums over the past decade, which, you know, obviously I've had the opportunity to be a part of, right? It really documented, you know, a whole generation of people that overcame, you know, struggle, drugs, gang life, all in search for something better.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Great choice.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
DJ,
what you got?
On my way here, I was on an Eminem rabbit hole, and I went through one of my favorite Eminem records, which is Square Dance. The Eminem show.
I just listened to that dog.
Like,
Come on, damn.
yeah,
Him and Proof.
He goes crazy.
He goes crazy.
I love
I
that.
won't go there. Like, he just, like the whole record, just the way that the Eminem show goes, like the first few records of it, and then when it goes into Square Dance, I just got like I was like dealing with something. I was on the phone, and the record was playing, and then Square Dance came on, and I was like, oh, I was like so
He
excited.
killed that shit.
Can it be? Like just when he started, like just that energy and just how
Want
he
no
can,
problems with me.
Yeah. Well, that's the outro is hysterical.
Yeah.
But like just how he's able to talk about certain things in that energy and what he talks about in that third verse, just the whole Anthrax napkin, the whole thing, the way he's making you visualize that, and it's just absolutely.
I gotta go back and listen to the album.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, give yourself a Square Dance on the way home. Dr. Dre. Like, it's like, man, it is.
Want no parts.
Justin,
That's right.
you next.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine is kind of like on the lines of Ali's. I picked this one especially because Ali is here. But the Hard Part 5, because I know his relationship with Nipsey and Kendrick, when I actually seen that video, and when Kendrick's face turned to Nip, I think I almost cried when I seen that. Because I just remember Nipsey calling me out, him, top of the morning, Stat, top of the morning. You know what I'm saying? He would always call me like early in the morning. I love that dude. And I just remember talking to him. Last time I spoke to him, we was at Chalice, and I was just telling him how important he is for hip hop, for Los Angeles. You know, I'm not from out here. I'm from Atlanta, but it was no wonder he had his funeral at the stadium because he meant so much. I mean, to me as a man, I rocked with him like, and you know, I always loved his music. I was supposed to be the executive producer on Victory Lap. We couldn't get the finances together. We couldn't figure it out. He was definitely trying to hustle me, but and he was supposed to. I'm not mad at him. I remember me and DJ was managing a producer named Sap, and we took Sap over there, and Sap worked on it. I mean, he worked on that album for so long, man. And I just remember he's like, I finally got it, Stat. He's like, I got Ali mixing it. He was so excited about it, and my last conversation was telling him how important he was to hip hop, and he played me Racks in the Middle, because he recorded. He wanted me to listen to it. And before he listened to it, he's like, yo, you ain't gonna send me no invoice on the low. I need to know if this one's free. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna charge you. Let me listen to it. Because he recorded the second verse on a different mic, and he wanted to make sure it didn't sound different. So he played it for me in the back. And then I just remember when I found out that he died, Game might not want to know this because he tough, but I just remember me and Game on the phone crying, man. We was so hurt.
I remember.
We was crying like we was.
Man, I remember
I
that
cried
day.
like a newborn baby.
I remember that day like it was yesterday because
Yeah.
YG had a record dropping that night, and obviously I was managing YG at the time, and like they were working on an album together, obviously so close, and like I had to call like Larry was on a plane somewhere to try to get that thing taken down so his song wouldn't come out the next day because it was a Sunday, and like the record was coming out that next day, and it was like, man, that day. Oh,
Man, I just
it gives me chills just thinking about it.
yeah,
It was
like I think the girl that I was messing around with, because I was on the phone with Game and I just broke down crying. Like I cried like literally like a bitch, like a hoe. And I think she just didn't want to mess with me no more because I literally like a girl, I was weeping. And it hurt me so much. So when Kendrick put out the Hard Part 5, and the end of that verse when he started talking as if he's Nipsey, I got goosebumps.
No,
And like he does that because he did it on even on Section 80 where he channels and goes into somebody else. He really does that. But man, to see Nipsey's face and he did that shit, whoo, that's one of the most. I don't know. That shit hit me in a way that I wasn't even prepared for when I first seen it. So yeah, that's my third verse.
That was a powerful moment for real.
Yeah.
very.
Mine is one of my least favorite Jay-Z albums is The Blueprint 3, right? But one of my favorite all-time Jay-Z songs ever is So Ambitious off the Blueprint 3.
One of my favorites.
It's an amazing song.
For real.
And so it's him. I'm big into motivation music. I'm big into music that makes me want to be a better person, that makes me want to go out and conquer the extraordinary, you know. And he tells a story about how he's doubted by his teachers in the beginning, first and second verse. And then he brings it around to some of the things he's accomplished in his career. This is what he says, and I rap. Had a couple of meetings, no offers yet. Maybe I ain't good enough for these offices. Back to the drawing board, ducking officers. It's all good because the streets is A&R in this. So without any of your involvement, we coming for all of this. Respect my conglomerate. This is where it gets ill. I went from pauper to the president because every deal I ever made said precedent. Niggas probably thought I'd fall without old buddy. Oh, buddy, what I do is make more money. And it's just an example of that. No matter what's happening with your team, no matter what's happening with people you're working with, no matter what's happening with all the people telling you can't accomplish something, you have to remain ambitious, and it's all possible. So I just love that.
I'm so ambitious.
Yeah,
There it is,
it's crazy.
man.
That's a great one. That's
It's amazing.
I should have used that song.
Well, Ali, we appreciate you coming
Absolutely.
by.
No,
You know,
man.
we don't have a lot of guests, but you like family. You ain't really a guest. You just come by when you want to. We appreciate you, man, and I'm happy to be a part of EngineEars. DJ is too. We rooting for you to sell it for $1 trillion so we can go and waste your money on bullshit that we go and make because we invested in it with you.
Nah, man. I think it goes back to, man, just for one, obviously just having the conversation. You know, I was hitting you guys up because I'm like, yo, you know, for one, it's dope. But again, man, it feels good to know that people support you. You know, and just having people of your guys' stature that have seen so much in the industry, that have been a part of so many things, that I could just call and be like, yo, am I making a bad decision here? Right? Like that value. Like people don't understand the value in just asking questions, right? And just asking for help. You know, I'm not afraid to ask for help. You know, I don't know everything, and I know I don't know everything. So, you know, you only ask like some Jay-Z shit. You only ask, you know, as powerful as your network. And I'm grateful to have the both of you in my network.
And I just want to
now
say
as well.
before I let you go, and I told you this on the phone, I want to say it publicly. I'm just proud of you, dog. Like the man that you've become. You've been solid since I've known you, but like the family man, you're a way better father than I ever dreamed to be. You just a really good dude, man, and you're a great
You make me cry now,
executive.
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you was a knucklehead when I first met you. I'm like, this nigga a knucklehead, but I'm like, you weren't a knucklehead. You one of the smartest dudes in the room. I just was just like judging you just based off the look, because you look like you'll knock a motherfucker head off. You look a gangster. So I'm like, dog, this
I
motherfucker.
still knock a nigga head out.
Oh
but-
no, well we know that, but I'm saying
Do it while being smart.
you so fucking smart, you know what I'm saying? And like to see that where you have matured to be, and watching you have conversations in front of all these different people with a suit on, and I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is a beast.
It's very impressive.
It's
And
impressive.
dope. It's just dope
bro.
overall, but it's
Like
very
it's
impressive.
dope, dog. Like I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you, and you represent us well, man. Thank you so much, and for allowing us to even be a part of your journey, man. We appreciate you, man.
I think, man, that's just on that note, just the whole notion of like you thought I was that, and I was everything that you thought I was, you know. But that didn't mean that I couldn't grow up, you know. And I feel like a lot of people that look like us get so institutionalized in like the mindset of like, I'm never gonna look like that, or I'm never gonna do that. I'm not gonna be able to articulate my like. I was scared of public speaking. I stutter. People don't realize, right? And it's, you know, and now like I would deem myself a good public speaker because like again like going out and just, you know, testing your own boundaries for anybody watching, fighting through it, right? Absolutely. And you know, and that's, you know, the last thing I want to say is, you know, for what Stat is saying, a lot of the people don't know that side of me, the janky part and all of that, you know. But there's a lot of people watching that are those people today, right? That can be one of the biggest CEOs tomorrow, you know. So, you know, just, you know, everybody got to grow up, you know. And for those that are struggling with growing up, man, just, you know, accountability starts within, and, you know, there's nothing you can't do.
Accountability starts within. I like that.
Whatever you wanna know, whoever you wanna see, the place you all need to be, the place you can't leave, the seed that plants seeds, the place you allowed to talk free. Whatever you wanna know, whoever you wanna see, the place you all need to be, the place you can't leave, the seed that that plants seeds, the place you allowed to talk free.